This person has said that she's heard back from legislators that there won't be any cuts, which I think is perhaps a bit overly optimistic, or perhaps a very broadly painted brush in that response. There are going to be cuts, and every individual who has a disability is going to be affected by those cuts. Your hours for personal care attendant services are going to go down. Your ability to have a behavioral aide help you with your child is going to go down. Your ability to get a waiver to access increased services is going to be reduced. Your budget under those waivers and your ability to get your child's needs met are all going to be cut. And in addition, the legislature is now looking at how to cut treatment for autism. How many people saw the articles in the Star Tribune last week? Guarantee you every legislator here saw them. And now they're thinking, why are we spending so much on kids who have autism? You know, I read one of the comments in the Star Tribune. I don't normally look at those comments for stories. For that article about the headline, Autism's $100,000 question, the very first comment was from somebody who said, you know, geez, we used to just kill people with disabilities. We used to just let babies with disabilities die. And that is true, and that was not too long ago. There was a girl who grew up down the street from me, born in the 70s, and that's what her parents were told. The nurse said, just leave her with me. Just leave her with me and we'll take care of her. And they were going to let her die. So this comment in the Star Tribune was, we used to let those people die. We used to kill them. Now we're spending all this money on them. Why? Why? And that's our fight. We need to explain why, which is just ridiculous. Yeah. This parent read the story, and her child, you say, is 15 years old on the spectrum, and she believes she's got a powerful story about before and after, and how far her, is that your son? I always guess son because I'm right 80% of the time, and that seems like a pretty good percentage for me. But her question is, how can she tell that story? How can it be impactful? And I'll tell you what, you've got to be over here telling legislators and other parents that story over and over and over again. There are people, even now, who do not believe autism is treatable. They do not believe that individuals with autism are worth this investment because they don't see the gains, and they don't believe the gains are possible. And the gains, you know, it's autism spectrum disorder. The individuals who are affected comprise such a broad range of needs and strengths and weaknesses, and the treatments that are available can help almost all individuals on the spectrum. But one thing that's really hard to tell people and to get people to buy into is that it's not an all or nothing mentality. You know, yeah, it's great when a kid achieves best outcomes, when a kid doesn't need supports and services and regular mainstream education any longer, when a kid no longer meets the diagnostic criteria for autism. Celebrate that. When a family calls me and they tell me, I cannot keep my 6-year-old at home anymore. The 6-year-old is too aggressive, too self-injurious. The mom is afraid for her other children. When that mom says, I can't keep my child at home, a realistic goal for her, and one that we all need to fight for, is to reduce those aggressive behaviors and self-injurious behaviors with the hope that the child will attain a level of that enables her to stay with the family. That is worth the investment. You know, I said it a couple years ago in a hearing, and I'll say it again. if you cannot put a monetary value on it when you're able to prevent a child from pounding her head on the wall until she goes blind. There is no monetary value to that. And when a family is able to reduce those aggressive behaviors, to help a child communicate their needs, that is a goal that we also need to fight for. But we're always going to have individuals who are severely, severely affected by autism. And we also need to fight for supports and services for them. We do need to have out-of-home placement options for individuals. We don't have adequate options right now.